is chapter 48, verses 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, and that's all of them. Jacob then surprised Joseph further by giving Ephraim precedence over Manasseh, even though Manasseh was older. And in the second book, in the second volume, it says, Jacob then told Joseph that in consideration for taking the trouble to bury him in the land of Israel, Jacob was awarding Joseph's descendants the city of Shechem. So that's the two books. We'll go with the first one, obviously. Yeah, I'm going to pass.
Okay, so basically last night, someone came to my father, and my father was doing business with someone, and the guy said there's going to be a minyan. So I told my dad I have to go to the minyan, because whenever I go to a minyan, I daven. Like, I've been going for the past, few weeks, every morning, almost every morning, and I've been, davening, Rashi, and time, everything. And I don't know why, I enjoy going to the minyan. It's a lot of fun. I enjoy it. It's I feel connected, and I enjoy it. I enjoy it so much. I don't know. When I was in Jets, I hated going to the Minion. I didn't hate it. I just didn't want to daven or anything. But now that I'm out of Jets and stuff, I enjoy going to the Minion and davening. I daven the entire thing more or less, 90% of it, 90% of the davening. So that's pretty amazing. And also today I had to go fill up air in my tires, so I went to the gas station to fill up air, and I forgot that it was the fast. So I went to the store and I started looking around, look something to munch on and something. And then I realized it's the fast. So I was like, I'm already in the store, so I'm gonna get something for after the fast. So I got a couple of drinks for after the fast. So I was like, whatever. Yeah. And yeah, I'll pass. Next.
Okay. On the go, FiveAlive. Here we go. Drops key. Monolentos. Immunization versus influence. Jacob told Joseph, but his younger brother will become greater than he. All right. I'm going to try to speak, but if I I have a feeling that I'm ready cutting off.
Yep.
Okay, so Yoni, go ahead.
All right. Interesting idea. An idea. Thought. Rabbi YY Jacobson. I think that's him. Yeah. He, not his brother, him, has a video on the yeshiva.net/Jewish/159. Yeshiva.net, the yeshiva.net/Jewish/159. He has a video over there. It says two ways of dealing with gullus. Nostalgia and transformation. And he speaks about the two names of Menashe and the blessings that Yaakov gave and why he gave precedence over to Ephraim over Menashe. And Menashe is basically the idea of nostalgia, thinking back, and basically tradition, and saying this is, let's say you know shluchim. The close example that you have is shluchim come and then they have kids out over here and they're like, oh, you think this is it? Wait until you come to Crown Heights and this and that, and then or parents that live in Crown Heights say, you think this is it? Remember, we used to live here or that. So that's tradition, nostalgia, thinking back and bringing back, people that speak Yiddish, even the people that speak Yiddish today. That's also a nostalgia type of idea. And then Ephraim, that's Menashe. Then Ephraim is transformation, going over and changing over the current position that you're in. And in order to have transformation, you have to have nostalgia first. I didn't get to watch the entire video, so that's the most that I got out of it. I'll continue with the next paragraph. As we have seen, Menashe represents our obligation to protect ourselves from the negative influences of our surroundings. Ephraim, by contrast, represents the obligation to influence our surroundings, to redeem them. My bad, to redeem ourselves and the world from exile. Since before influencing the world, we must ensure that we are protected from its temptations. Joseph named his firstborn Manasseh and wished to give him precedence in receiving Jacob's blessings as well. Oh, this actually might be part of his speech. Okay. Um, yeah, so Mendy, I just gotta say, your beard looks huge. Like extremely. It looks like it got a lot bigger. Man, I gotta see it sometime. I gotta come over and actually like see it. Yeah. And Isaac, I'm not sure where you are. Guessing your house, but yeah. Let's go. Let's continue. Mendy, your turn.
A bunch of things. You just said a bunch of things that I was thinking of, like the show that I went to. It used to be a show a long time ago, and then it turned into Chabad House. Now it's a Chabad House in Elmville. So we happened to have a minion because there were like a bunch of people that needed someone needed a minion, so we made a minion. And Yiddish. She only said something about Yiddish, and one of the Russian ladies in the Mott's baker said it's like important, like that I should speak it because like it's very good to know it. It's very good. It's a very good language. And I was actually thinking about Yoni like joining FiveAlive today. I was like, I was gonna call Yoni. I was gonna call you in the morning. I don't know why. I was like, but I didn't call you because I was like, I don't know, is he sleeping or not? Or like maybe it was last night or something. I don't remember. So I was like, I was thinking of you joining FiveAlive, something like that. I had like this feeling that you might join FiveAlive, and then you joined FiveAlive, and it's really awesome. And I think Isaac's going to Tel Aviv Grill right now for a morning breakfast, shawarma, laffa. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But yeah, the other day I went to for lunch. I had this like brisket sandwich. It was like massive, and I was still hungry, so I had also a shawarma laffa, like a massive shawarma laffa, and I was like, oh, so full and it was so good. I could have ate another one. Like, there's someone with me. He's like, you're definitely you. He thought I was joking. I told him I ordered a shawarma laffa. He's like, yeah, whatever. Yeah, you can eat a shawarma laffa now. And then I got it. And he's like, really? You can eat that? I was like, yeah, I'm gonna eat the entire thing right now. And I just like ate it, and he was like, wow, wow. He was like surprised, but like not surprised at the same time. But yeah, I was really hungry that day. I was craving like a fleishik lunch because usually I don't like eat lunch either. I have like something small or like I don't eat lunch. So I was like in the mood of something fleishik, so I had like a massive fleishik lunch. It was really good. And yeah, fast is ending soon. So I'm excited. I'm gonna go to sleep. I'm gonna wake up and I'm gonna be able to eat. Yeah, I can't wait to get back to the city because I have a minion every morning before work. And yeah, that's basically it. Next, if you could talk, Isaac, that'd be nice.
We finished? Oh, okay, Skoya. Tone white. What am I thinking? I'm thinking Tel Aviv Grill would be better. I'm not heading to Tel Aviv Grill right now. There's this famous story or anecdote, whatever you want to call it, of the tzaddik in pelts. You guys heard of that one? I'm sure you've heard of it. It's a classic example of. It's a classic example of a tzaddik, a holy Jew, that there's two different ways of a person warming up a room. One is that the guy's in a room. I mean, warming up from the cold, anyways. One is guys in a guy comes in and it's cold. So what does he do? He puts on his big fur coat and he keeps himself warm. And he's good. There's another guy that comes in and it's cold. So he takes some wood, he puts it in and makes a fire. And then he warms up the room. So the guy with the coat, it's called a pelts, I believe. He's a tzaddik in pelts, it's called. He's a tzaddik, but he doesn't warm up his surroundings. He doesn't warm up the people around him. He's just basically basking in his own enjoyment. And then there's the other guy that warms up the room. So yeah, it could be it takes some more time or whatnot. But in the end, he warms up the whole room, not just himself. So just from the highlight, where it says immunization versus influence, that was my first thought. There's another, there's a more modern, updated version of that. It's not the same, it's another version, which is the question, are you a, one second, are you a thermometer or are you a thermostat? What's the difference? Thermometer tells you what's the weather. It tells you how hot or cold it is. The thermostat changes what's the weather, how hot or cold it is. So I want to say two things. One, I think it was the obvious one. It's about, the vibe sucks over here. Yeah, bro. You're part you are the vibe. You're part of it. That's how you make it. And the other one that I want to say, which I just realized as I was speaking, is that that's the same thing with my personal life as well. That means I could just be like the thermostat. I mean the thermometer. The thermometer is. Did you guys hear Mendu saying, telling me where to go? Or you're not? Okay, good. So one is regarding to my own life personally, is that I can have hi Sean, welcome. I have like it can be like a thermometer. I'm just basically telling you, I'm not in the mood, I don't feel like it, things like that. Which, shkoyach, I guess you're telling me how you feel, which is good. But it doesn't really do anything. Or it could be like the thermostat, say like, yeah, of course I don't feel it right now, but I can change that. I am responsible to change that. Those are my thoughts about immunization versus influence. And let me just see who's first. Yoni, Mendy, then Shalom. Go ahead, Yoni.
All right, so the pelts versus the flames versus the thermostat versus the thermometer. A thermometer and someone using a coat is a little different. It's not well enough because a thermometer, to use closest to the right words, I guess, is it's very passive. Could what's the word? Not unenthusiastic. Apathetic. A person that's apathetic just goes with whatever the temperature is. Doesn't really go and tries to change the environment. That's what if the energy over there is exciting. Again, an apathetic person wouldn't be excited, but the person that goes with the flow. And then there's the thermostat and the person that makes fire for the house to warm up. Okay, that's pretty much on the same idea, on the same exact. But the thermometer and the code, I can't really wrap my head around that. I get what you're saying, but if I wouldn't have both stories together, I would not think that. In granting his blessing, however, Jacob focused on the purpose of our descent into exile, not merely spiritual survival, but the spiritual growth that results from our successful encounter with exile. Jacob therefore gave precedence to Ephraim. I got to just be a little bit upset with the Daily Wisdom. They misspelled Ephraim. It's with an F, not a PH. Just saying. Hi Shalom and Fola. I believe I saw you there. I got really excited when I saw Fola. I gotta go either to New York or to Crown Heights and hit up the Fabringen on Wednesday. The Wednesday night Fabringens. I gotta go to one of these places. Unless Fola's not in New York anymore. I'm not sure what he would be doing out of New York, unless he's in California or in Mexico. Or Israel. Okay, so I could understand why. Yeah. Either way, I found something really, really good in my bag, which is this, and it's helping me get through the fast. Truffle and sea salt. So smells really good. So I use it whenever I get a bit too hungry. And after the fast, I'm gonna reward myself with some chocolate. Actually, here, show you what I'm talking about when I say chocolate. All this I'm rewarding myself with after the fast. Not just this one. Has like one piece left inside. But yeah, good stuff over here. One more thing that I want to say. I'm sure it's gonna come back to me when I go through. All right, Shalom, your turn.
My turn. It's not Shalom's turn. I'm before Shalom.
My bad, Mendy's turn.
So basically, I think what Isaac's trying to say is with the code and the thermometer, it's not that it's that he's affecting himself, not others. Like a thermometer is not doing anything to put out. So it was two different examples. So like you think of them as two different examples, not as one. Because if you think of them as one, you'll get very confused and you're like, what? Thermometer, coat, what does that have to do with each other? But if you think about it like this, like here's one thing. This guy with a coat that warms up himself and a guy with a fire that warms up everybody else. And then the second example is a thermostat and a thermometer. A thermometer doesn't do anything. It just tells you the heat. But a thermostat changes. It changes the environment around it. A, a thermostat, a thermos. Now I'm thinking of a thermos. I'm thinking of a hot cocoa. Now I'm in the mood of hot cocoa with marshmallows and a little bit of whipped cream. Oh my god, that sounds so good. I want it right now, but I can't because I don't have chocolate milk because I'm upstate and I'm not gonna go to the store and buy cocoa because it's too expensive to buy a bunch of cocoa for one person. And also, I know when I'm starting to like my time's up is when I start saying a lot. When I start like and uh and that's it basically. See, I'm there already. My minute's over. Basically, my whatever. Okay, Shalom next. Ain't Svay dry.
Gotcha, Mandy. So, ich weiß nicht, was mir wegen, but, yeah, I'm here doing this stuff I've never done before in my life, and I already did. Two people already wanted money yesterday, so I was very happy. No idea how much I'm gonna get off them, but it's interesting. Yeah, that's it.
Isaac.
Next.
Okay, good stuff. Good stuff going on here. Yes, thank you, Yoni, for pointing it out, that there is a difference. I did say that there is a difference between them, but I like that we're delving into it and trying to figure it out. I would like to say that none of those are apathy. I think apathy is, a stone. It has nothing to do with any of them. Because the thermostat is telling you, it's involved, telling you how hot it is. The coat is warming up the personal person himself, I'm kind of like trying to say it on levels. The person is warming himself up with his coat, and then the flames, the thermometer, and then whatever. Basically, the thermometer is it's still just what do you call it? But, just a device, and the person actually warming up, actually going home, taking some wood and putting it in there, is warming up all the people around him as well. Anyways, yeah, they are two different concepts, but they are very good. The thermometer and the thermostat one is more of like a leader mentality. Are you a leader or follower? The coat and the heating up the whole room, making a fire thing, is more of am I self-absorbed or am I influencing others? So yeah, more applicable to this headline over here, the immunization versus influence, I think would go better with the coat and which it would be immunization and influence. Oh man, I just missed my egg. Fuck that guy's a little turtle. Anyways, what else did I want to say? That was about what I said, what Mendy said. And Sean, Mendy is very perceptive of you to be able to hear yourself saying I didn't notice it. And Sean, we're very happy that you're doing good. I mean, we found two people that already want to, two people, oh my gosh. Alright, Endo is not letting me talk today. I'm basically saying, oh my gosh, he's really not letting me talk. Okay. Two people that already said they want money and it's going to go through, that's amazing and crazy because I understand. Are you going or are you just standing there? Alright, I'm going. Yeah, okay, anyways, usually you don't get to have that go through so soon. You usually have to make many, many calls. So I wish you the best of luck, and even though you don't need it, but Bishop should be on your side. Now, Yoni, go ahead.
You always need luck. It's not. There's never not enough mazel. You know, your angel could have a little bit more. Either way, likewise, in our exile, although just like Menashe is the firstborn, securing our Jewish identity is the first step. Our main purpose is to be an Ephraim, to positively influence the world around us. Look at the Sichos, volume 15, pages 432, 433, 434. Volume 5, pages 459 folio. See Rashi on chapter 25, verse 26 above. See Likutei Sichos, volume 22, pages 241, 242. All right, so that was the entire thing. And yeah, Mendy, very dope shades and very dope rings. Shalom, I have no clue what you're doing. I can guess what it was, what it is, but yeah, much aslacha. And Isaac, Mendy happened to mention a thermos, which that would be more accurately descriptive of the coat versus the thermometer. And for the thermometer, I said apathetic, but then as continuing to speak about it, I mentioned that it goes up when things are exciting. The person that's apathetic wouldn't go up, wouldn't get excited. So like I realized that there is a disconnect over there. No apathy involved, just someone that just goes with the flow. Like a fish. Or unless you're salmon, then you go against the flow. That's that. Also, interesting thing I just found out. I was on Chabad.org and I was just somehow browsed up on zodiacs. And like literally I did not look for it and it just popped up. And apparently there's a whole Kabbalistic things about mazalos of the months. Each Shevet is attributed to one month. And what else was there? there was each Teves is attributed to a month, and then there's obviously the type of animal that's attributed to it, but there's the attributes of that animal, or yeah, animal. Um, and there was also whatever. There was a few other things. Main thing is that other Shani apparently doesn't have a mazel, according to some opinions, because there's only 12 shvatim, and it doesn't have the mazel of fish, according to a lot of opinions, because it's the 13th month. But then opinions say no, it does. It has fish, and the tribe that it has isn't any of the regular 12 tribes, but it's the 13th tribe, which is Levi. Um, yeah, and interesting stuff. I haven't been able to listen to all the audios yet, but if I find them, I will. Because I lost the link. Yeah, and Yuska is gonna be joining us in a moment. Welcome, Yuska.
Let's go be after Shalom.
Okay. So yeah, the thermos popped in my head because Boker Tov Obiaska. So the thermos popped in my head because I was saying thermostat and thermometer. Thermostat? Thermometer? I don't know. It gets so confusing and stuff. And I missed out a little bit when Yoni said, but Yoni left. But yeah, so basically, I actually really enjoy Five because like whenever you talk, you know when your time's up, and you get to like put in like you could finish your sentence, not like in the middle of the sentence you have to stop, and it gets annoying sometimes, but that's how it is. But I enjoy it. I enjoy it when it's like when we have like our time, and like we feel when the minute or however long we talk for is up, and I feel like we get more information out of it than just doing a minute, because you do the minute, you do the minute, you do the minute, and like you say your middle saying something or you want to say something, and then your next minute comes till your next minute, it takes forever, and then you forget what you want to say, or like you have something else that you want to say, so it just gets very like mishkabobbled, and yeah, that's basically what I was saying. And I'm excited for after the fast. I don't know what I'm gonna eat. I have to figure it out because we don't have that much food here. Maybe I'll go to the store and get some food. But yeah. Okay. Ein, zwei, dry. Shalom.
Oh, I go first. Nice, nice. Um, yeah, pass.
Everybody's passing. Okay. I just want to answer Mandy. That's the idea, to have the minutes to speak to yourself or to listen for yourself, not to be a smart guy to tell people what to do. Because a friend of mine told me it's so special about the FiveAlive, because each one, in the beginning, people say something, you want to answer. Then till it comes your turn, you forgot what you have to speak to. So the only one you have to speak to yourself, basically. You have to listen very carefully, because you are digest what people speak, and you have to speak whatever is good for you. And then we are together. Otherwise, somebody are trying to manipulate each other. And this is a very good method, not to manipulate nobody. Just speak to yourself. What you understand. And I want to tell you thank you today to speak about food, to speak about the God, to really be united. Nothing better than this. Nothing better than speaking to you guys now and not telling each one what to do, and then just tell myself I'm in the best place, in the best environment it can be. Baruch Hashem. Have easy fast. I'm speaking to myself. If I say easy fast, I'm going to have an easy fast. I'm blessing all of you today. If I have a yahrzeit of my mother, Yudis Batsora, Sheva Aliyah, and Farbrengen. I look at Sholem now. I don't know why Sholem's face is. I look at Sholem because he's by me on mute. Not mute, that's why I see Sholem clear in your head. So I want to wish you a great day, guys. I'm gonna have to hang up now. So have an easy fast, and thank you very much for being in my life. That's it.
Wow. Thank you, Reb Yaska. Very, very nice. Very nice. Um, I don't know what else I wanted to add yet. It's interesting the differences and all this stuff. I don't think I hopped the last. Oh no, I gotta close it. It's too much. Okay. I don't think I hopped the end part of the daily wisdom, and I would like to check it out, and see what's my takeaway for today. I like this idea of having a takeaway, and everything that I see. I try to um, quantify part of what I gained. So I know that there's huge gain, like Rabisco was just saying. Learn how to actually not manipulate. Learn how to speak to myself, to give myself proper advice. Learn how to be able to listen properly. That was excellent today. And yeah, Mandy, about what you were saying, it's definitely true that there's an advantage of not having a timer. Um, but not everybody's able to do it. Some people, if I look at the time and I know, like, look, I don't really want to listen to this guy, but I could do it for a minute, for a minute and a half, whatever, as long as I know, like, there's a certain amount of time. A lot of times we're able to push ourselves more. But um, um, but if you are already used to it, and you already have the motivation to encourage each other. What people have to say. Um, those are my thoughts about that. So there's always a benefit to like each one, to each different method in different ways. And every once in a while, like today, I was like thinking about it, and I'm like, it's good. What's the best way to go? So I hope that everybody does appreciate that. Not appreciated that people spoke and I had enough time to finish our thoughts, and also teach me a little bit of patience, to listen, even if a guy, is speaking. So I don't read the last part because I don't really hop it. Um, in granting his blessing, however, Jacob focused on the purpose of our descent into exile, not more soul survival, but the spiritual growth that results from our successful encounter with a gay precedence with a PH. Likewise, just like Menashe, the firstborn, securing our Jewish identity is the first step. Trying to positively influence the world around us. Wow, very, very powerful. Are you smart at a PH, or is that something else? Um,
A little cut off.
Where did I want to mention? What did you say?
Your service might not be the best. You don't come on the stream.
I'm breaking up?
A little bit.
Okay, I turned off my Wi-Fi. Maybe it was connected to a distance Wi-Fi
That'd
connection.
be good, yeah.
Anyways, I wanted to mention the idea of sur merav asetov. So in general, that's the rule, that you have to stay away from the negative. And the next step is to develop the positive. Sur merav asetov. So merav comes first, asetov comes next. But I have seen from the Rebbe that basically the Rebbe says, just asay tov, man. If you are busy with asay tov, then pretty much you're surmeiring anyways. So obviously there's room for both, but the main focus is on asay tov. A lot of times, especially these days, which is applicable to us, surmeira becomes so so prevalent and so it takes up basically our whole life, and we just beat ourselves up. So it doesn't work as smoothly as we should. They used to be more resilient. Um, yeah, that's my thought about Sumer Asatay. Basically, just do good. Busy yourself with doing good. Don't worry about the negative. Like the Rebbe spoke about Zara Levatala, and the Rebbe said basically, like, do Hesach Hadas. Like, don't think about it at all. Don't pay attention to it. Don't focus on it. Don't fight it. Don't deal with it. Don't just, you know that it's not good. Azov, leave it alone. Don't focus on it. Leave it, and that's it. And just what should you do? Whatever says, have like strong chayas and learning chassidus and be busy with chassidus, which means basically doing good. Be busy with good stuff. Okay, that's it for me. I think I'm gonna have to go, but okay, let's continue. Go ahead, Yoni.
So I think it's in Kol Marach Be'echad that's mentioned about Sumeira, which is the Frierdiker Rebbe's mimer that he gave in Chicago in 19 something, or 1890 something, I think, 1894. I don't know exactly the exact year, but earlier than that, later than that. No, 19 something, yeah. Either way, he mentions, I believe it's Kol Marach Be'echad, that has about that a person that's dealing with Sumeira, the moment, and he drops it, let's say it's 6 months he's been working on Surmeira, right? And then for a moment he misses it, and he accidentally does the Ra. Well, what has he been dealing with the entire 6 months? He's been dealing with bad. Not exactly anything special, hasn't really affected anything, just dealing with staying away from bad. A person that's doing good and just does good, and then falls one time and doesn't do the good, or ends up doing something bad or something. What has he been dealing with though the entire time? He's been dealing with good, so he's been doing and affecting something. Also, Menashe and Ephraim are the examples of Surmeira B'Aseita. Menashe is Surmeira, is the idea of Surmeira, and Ephraim is the idea of Aseitoif. At least that's what I got from the speech of Y.Y. Jacobson, which again is on the yeshiva.net/Jewish/159 if you want to find it. And yeah, he speaks about it over there. And I'm pretty sure Rav Paltiel, speaking just about Zera Levatel, Rav Paltiel says that a person, the only reason why a person would have that is because he has nothing else to do. He's completely bored. Boredom. That's all it is. The case of everything. Not just that, specifically that, but not just that. The case of everything is stems from boredom. I'm probably paraphrasing now from him. So it's my take from what I heard from him. But yeah. Otherwise, different things that I'm trying to work on. Learning Tanya Balpeh and learning Tehillim Balpeh. So I could have at least a little bit of Chassidus and a little bit of Nigla. Torah is Nigla, right? At least a little bit with me wherever I go, in an orderly manner and in a direct manner, not just having just the knowledge, but having the actual words and knowing it. And there was another thing. There's another thing, but I can't remember it at the moment. But what I wanted to say is, in addition to everything about Mendy mentioning the minutes and Isaac mentioning the minutes and Yoske, I guess I'll throw in my 2 cents and see what happens from it. I love finishing my thought. It's always great, but the minutes really help me make it concise, and not bore everyone to death. Um, and if I don't get to finish my thought, that means I just have to figure out how to say it in a more pleasant or short way. And like right now, I'm just going. I know I have all these things to say, but the pauses that I'm taking and the words that I'm using and the liberty of taking my time of thinking it as I'm using my turn um, doesn't really help. At least how far as I see it, doesn't really help FiveAlive roll as smoothly as I've once had it. That also could be in addition that I'm not in the same environment that I was when I had FiveAlive with a timer and all that, as well as FiveAlive, at least to me, how quote unquote brought up with FiveAlive, right? From when I started FiveAlive until now. I know each time that we didn't have timers, um, it didn't really not great ideas were said and great thoughts were provoked, but I don't think that the actual learning, as in material wise or discussion of learning, was exactly productive. Those are my 2 cents, and I'm sure I have other things that I'll remember the moment I pass my turn, but I'm gonna pass.
I have like a couple things to say. Like one, I think Yaskit took what I said like in the wrong way. That's what I think. I just wanted to tell it to him, but I couldn't because he hung up way too quick. And is it possible to make like a nighttime FiveAlive for like like people that work? Like when I'm not working in the flower, like because when I'm working in the flower, I have time. I could like go and do FiveAlive, but I'm working in the Mott's Bakery. I have no time till the end of the day. So I want to know if like people would join like a nighttime FiveAlive, like 9 o'clock 770 time for an hour or whatever, like 7 o'clock. I don't know, like whenever people are available. If we can make that happen, that would be amazing because I enjoy FiveAlive a lot and I really like coming to FiveAlive, joining FiveAlive, and it sucks that I can't like join FiveAlive when I'm working in the Matzo Bakery because I'm working when FiveAlive's happening, and every day I see the notificate like the hangout, and I'm like, I wish I could just join now, but I can't because I'm on a break and stuff, and it's over. So yeah, that's basically what I was thinking. Isaac, if you could let me know if that's a possibility, and if other people would join, that would be awesome. Yeah. Okay.
Everything's a possibility. Oh, sorry. Manny, if you're finished,
It's Shalom's turn.
then Shalom.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to head out in a minute, so
No, Shalom, say something.
I really don't have anything to say. I learned something with Aaron Cowan yesterday about food and the power we receive from it, and like the right, like it could go to Klipo or to God. And recently, it's been a struggle for me to eat a bit. So like, I know that if I have the right intentions and I know it's going to the right place, it's gonna give me good energy, and I won't have any like issues with it. Yeah, that's all I have to say.
All right, awesome.
Fine.
So this is amazing. I have never gone to mikvah before while on FiveAlive. So, and I'll do a quick, what do you call it? Confession. Yoni, I did dunk my head under the water while you were speaking about how long you speak for. So I'm okay with it. and that was enjoyable. Relax. Many. I mean, it's definitely possible. You know, what do you mean? Is it possible? Of course, it's possible. Um, if there's a wide enough interest, I'm sure I can try to figure out my day in a way that I can do it as well. I didn't hear exactly. Bye, Shalom. It's good to see you. I didn't hear exactly what time you said, but you definitely did. Oh, I think you said 9 o'clock, and you definitely did make me very happy when you used 770 time. That was cool. It means it's catching on. there's going to be different time zones. And the universally used time zone will be 770 time. We just got to stick to our guns. We got to be thermostats. Or fire builders. Oh, I wanted to mention that before when Yoni said about a fish or a salmon. And basically, there's a how did it go? Oh, if you're going with the flow, you're probably a dead fish. So dead fish, they're the ones that go with the flow. Other fish, they swim to where they want to go. I mean, I'm sure there are also live fish that whatever. Anyways, you get the point. Don't just go with the flow because that's a dead fish. What else I want to say? I mean, I think that's it. And practically speaking, I don't know exactly what time I'll be available. 9 o'clock, 7:70 time would be a difficult time for me. But I definitely want to try some kind of like a pilot, at least test it out and find some kind of time that will be good. And then let's try to set it up. I mean, I remember we were doing this in the past, doing like a daytime and a nighttime, and basically our brains work differently at night. And being that we are like quite universal these days, we have people joining from all over the place. We kind of just stuck with the same thing, but generally, your brain at night and during the day works very differently. In regards to like doing things in depth or doing things more superficial, like heavier learning, more or as opposed to more like lighter talk. Anyways, basically, our brains work differently, so we'll have to figure out exactly. But I definitely want to do that. So, Mindy, let's try to figure out what would be the next step, and maybe let's speak with Yaska a little bit, see what he has to say. You always got the best practical. Practical, that's funny. I just put Yaska and practical in the same sentence. It's amazing. No, but really, he has the most applicable advice. I think that's a more appropriate term. I think I could turn the camera back on now because I'm mostly dressed. All right. Yoni, go ahead.
Your confession was your 5 Hail Marys. What's it called again? No, what I said is that it's nice to be able to finish my entire thought. However, to not have a timer means that first off, I won't be able to hear everyone else's opinion in a concise manner that I'm able to go and actually recall everything that everyone said. Yuska said that that's not the point. The point is that you're supposed to listen for yourself. So that's not an applicable. That's the word that you used, applicable. That's not an applicable complaint or reasoning. But the other reason is because I believe the minute or minute and a half or 30 seconds, whatever it is, really trains the mind to use the words in concise manner in order that you get your message across instead of having an open, broad, platform where I'm able to just go ahead and think while I'm speaking and go over in my head and, oh, what else did I have to say? I don't know. Oh, yeah, I had that, you know? Like, for example, after, like I said, I passed and then I realized the whole point that I started saying why I was learning these stuff to by heart was also because I mentioned the sources that I was quoting from, and that was the main thing that I wanted to say is in Mishnah, in Pirkei Avos, I believe, I don't remember the exact page. I'll be able to pull up the exact page later, but in the Weiss edition, somewhere in there, Isaac, you have the Weiss edition, the one the kids one, nice colorful one. Somewhere in there, it mentions basically saying how very, very, very important it is to quote your sources. Extremely important to quote your sources. So that's something that I'm trying to work on. Especially that I do enjoy taking in a lot of information and I take in and I discard some, whatever I find applicable to myself. or something that I do find attractive and other things that I don't. Obviously there's a bias. Um, and then I just discard the source and make myself the source, which sometimes leads me into controversy, and I don't have a source to drop behind, and therefore I kind of lose not the conversation or the people, just I kind of lose to myself in that I can't really back up what I'm saying or that, and that's not really the point. The point is in order to give credit where credit is due. Um, yeah. In addition to that, I have a few other points, but I can't really recall them exactly on my mind. Oh yeah, yesterday, um, I was cooking onions, a ton of onions. I fried so many onions. It was amazing. Um, it's like you can make a wall of onions. Someone told me that it was how big was it? Let's say it was something like 9 by 13 pans, just like piled of cut onions, and I fried them all. Someone came into the building and said you could smell it from outside. That's how much I was cooking. Either way, while I was cooking, I was listening to music. Sometimes I listened to shears. Either way, I was listening to music, and I decided to go into the idea of what exactly is it that I'm thinking about. What exactly is it that I want to that it is that I am? And I said, hold up, I I just listened to a few shirim, and the thought that came to me in the mish of all of it was, um, I need to emulate God. I The only reason why I'm here is because I am not here. This is. Let me explain. I'm taking a lot of time, I know, but let me explain. I am not here. The only thing that is here is the positivity that God has, all the good attributes that there are, even rage, which is a form of passion. Passion is positive. So everything that there is positive, and I have to excel in that as much as possible. So my smile, which was the main thing that I focused on when I was thinking about this, my smile is not my smile. My smile is everyone else's. I don't have a right to my smile. I don't have a right to make a sour face to somebody because that's not that's not my decision. My decision is to smile because I owe it. Not only do I owe it that to that person, I owe my existence to that person in order for me to smile to them. Because a person, as the Baal Shem Tov said, a person may come down to this world 70, 80 years just to do a physical favor, a material favor for another, not a spiritual one, a material one. And it might be that at this moment, this smile that is live on YouTube and what goes on the internet is almost forever. Someone's gonna find it and is gonna enjoy that smile. Or right now. And when I'm not on YouTube, I have to keep smiling because it could be a person walks into a room and for a second sees a person smiling while they're learning or davening or something, or even just smiling in general while cooking. And it gets them. That's the one thing that I need to do, and be constantly on my feet with that. Um, so yeah, that was a long one, but main thing is everything that I have is not mine, though I may think it's mine. The only reason why I have them is for me. The only me part is cultivation in order to give to others, mainly my smile. All right, Mendy, go.
I'm already looking around what I'm gonna make for after the fast. I think I'm gonna make some spaghetti if there is. Yeah, I'm gonna make some spaghettis. I'm gonna make maybe something else. Maybe I'm gonna have a cup of coffee. Yeah. Maybe I'm gonna have some crackers. I'm just thinking of what I'm gonna have for after the fast. And yeah, Yoni, that was a long one. I got lost in the middle. I was focusing on my rear window because it was like really dirty, so I cleaned it and now it's clean. But yeah, Isaac, that was cool that you went to the mikvah while during FiveAlive. If there Was there anybody else there? Like, it would be weird if there was other people there that would be just like hearing a phone, people talking and stuff. That'd be a little weird and stuff. But yeah, hopefully, the fast one soon. It's like the shortest fast, if I'm not mistaken. One of the shortest fasts. This and like Tinus Esther are like the shortest fast. Maybe I'm gonna make a challenge. Should I make a challenge? I have barley, I have beans, I have everything to make a challenge. That'll be perfect. Yeah, and I think I'm gonna hang up because it's already 1:23, and I think we've been doing this for over an hour, and I'm exhausted, and I really want to go to sleep because I have to wake up and work tonight. So I'm gonna say goodbye. I just want to hear what Isaac has to say before I leave, and shalom, and I'm gonna leave once this round is over. I'm gonna hang up. Ain't spay dry. Not hang up, like mute myself.
So Shalom's turn.
Yeah, I'm busy. But yeah, it's good to see you all.
Yeah, me too. Baruch Hashem. Baruch Hashem. I do want to disagree with. I mean, I'm sure that there's definitely a point over there. But Yoni quoted from Rabbi Paltiel. I don't think boredom is the only thing that leads to this stuff. I don't agree with that. But I definitely hear that point. As Rabbi Zalman Raksin is wont to say, uh, boredom brings to boredom. I think it's a wrap for today. I mean, there's so many good things. I definitely would like to continue, but there's a healthy. I think that was a healthy amount. I think it was just over an hour that we did, and I'm excited to hear about the evening. I also made a decision with Shalom, which is a very cool decision, to learn a sikha in depth. Meaning with all the sources and all the stuff like that, which will be very exciting. I hope to start that very soon as well. Yeah, that's it. So thank you very much, everybody. A wonderful day. I find that my body feels relaxed and appreciated and wonderful. All the good stuff. We're all talking from the relaxed atmosphere. So yes, as Yoni eloquently put it, there are quite a bunch of benefits to have a timer. Be able to speak precisely, concisely, and not miss your point and all the other stuff. But this was very nice, and there's a benefit to this as well. To feel like I could speak about making spaghetti and maybe having the coffee and whatever other stuff we spoke about. And I think it's nice and enjoyable. Mashiach right now. Go ahead.
Have a great
Awesome.
day, everyone.
See you, man. Um, Mashiach now, yeah. I'm gonna stick around unless everyone leaves, you know. So, um, I mean, either way, yeah, of course, there's benefits to how it's going right now, and there's benefits to how it goes in general. There's always gonna be the reason to say no, and there's always gonna be, well, not always gonna be a reason to say yes, but that in itself is a reason to say yes. Um, and yeah, you might not agree with what I said about what Robert Paltiel said, but that's, I mean, again, I said that I might be the point that I was saying is where you were saying about the Rebbe says do Hesach Hadas. If you're not bored, meaning if you're not occupying your mind, then there's no Hesach Hadas. So if you're not bored, you're obviously dealing with something and therefore getting your mind away from it. That's my connection to it. Not saying that that's what the quote is saying. Not saying that's what the quote, what's behind the quote. That's what I understand behind the quote. Um, and again, I also said that I might be paraphrasing. I know nearly for a fact. No, I know for a fact they said that boredom, mainly boredom, is what causes Hazar Batala, and having nothing to do, not doing anything. That's more specifically how he said it is not doing anything, having nothing to do leads to it, which in turn is boredom. Um, that's and then I paraphrased it or expanded that idea and said that to most things, that's most bad things are from that. If you're bored and you're not doing anything, not only do you not have hazahadas automatically, you also have an open vacant space, and void is the opposite of anything good, um, unless you're making space for something, and void is not a space for something. Void is just an emptiness. Yeah, so that was my point where I brought him up, and I need a review. I need a review of a few things in order that I'm able to get. Oh, also with daytime, nighttime learning thing thought, what I think about it is that wonderful idea to have nighttime. Though nighttime, you already went through your entire day, so your brain is sort of exhausted, yet also more awake than in early morning. Um, what else? So I'm down for nighttime. Just obviously has to work with the schedule that I have. It would be easier for sure. It would be easier. Only question is if I'm sleeping by 9 o'clock already, because I go to sleep early and wake up early. But I have a full day of happenings. When FiveAlive happens, generally, now at least, generally I would be able to join FiveAlive if it happened on time. I'd be able to join FiveAlive. But that's already too much to ask. All right, I'm going to pass it over to Mendy.
Have a great day, everybody, and Mashiach now.
Yanni, since you saying you're still here, I'll just finish off a thought. Because while you were speaking, you ignited another thought, which we just had a few weeks ago. A bird ache ve'ein boy mayim. Right? The pasuk says the pit was empty. The one that they threw Yosef into, the famous thing. The pit was empty and the water didn't have water. So Rashi mentioned on that. Basically, there's an obvious question up there. What's the obvious question? The obvious question is, if there's no water, why do you have to say it's empty? There was no water. If it was empty, so then obviously there's no water. And then so Rashi comments on it and says, "Mayim ein boy, avol nechashim akrabim yesh boy." There was no water, but there was snakes and scorpions. And Chassidus basically elaborates on it and explains that not having a full day, not having things that basically, I think there's a nuance there in what you mentioned, right? Saying not boredom, but like not having things to do, like not doing something, not being active and passionate and involved in things. I would say that is a little bit more accurate, which is basically what we're saying over here with this idea of the pit that was empty. That if it's empty of all the stuff that is supposed to be filled with, right? So then you invite all the vermin and unwanted stuff. But I don't know. My reservation in regards to that is I guess maybe my experience is not like that. Um, Maybe the start would be from boredom. Then you have to take into account addiction, right? Addiction and habit, and you could be like busy, but if it's so on your mind, you know, you could go for it even if you're busy, and you really don't have the time, you can still go for it. And also, these days, especially how our world is set up with so much enticement, well, which is leading me into another whole verbringen, which is the idea of there's a law, and I'm sure you heard this from me before. There's a law in in kashrus, or in kashering meat, insulting malicha. The law is that as long as the meat is giving out, it does not receive. So basically, if you put salt on meat and you're trying to take out the blood, and you put it in a way that it's like on a flat surface, and there's nothing, the blood is not draining away. So it depends how much time. Basically, for a certain amount of time, it's still fine because it's still giving out blood and it won't receive it. But if you leave it for long enough, it will start receiving the blood back in. And what's the rule? The rule is that as long as it's receiving, as long as it's giving out, it's not receiving. So even in regards to the temptations and the stuff in the world that might lead us to it and tempt us to the negative stuff. Um, if we're busy giving off, for example, like what you're saying, Mishnayos Balpeh, Tanya Balpeh, Tehillim Balpeh. If I'm in the middle of giving, like I'm talking about this drive. I was busy listening and speaking on FiveAlive. I cannot recall a single anything that I've seen this entire ride. And not a single billboard, advertisement, anything. And this is something that I actually experienced in my life. I was able to see it and really experience it in my life. Um, to not see the negative. I remember there was one time when I was shliach here in Jets a bunch of years ago. And I remember being in a van, and and for a while there was like this thing going on that we were bringing about is don't do. I'm sure you heard of it. Don't do double takes, right? The first take, if you saw it, okay, it's for free. It's not your fault. It's basically, it doesn't affect you in the negative. But if you see it the second time, if you look back, that's on you. So, and then, so the achletas were all like, okay, no double takes, not for the day, for the week, for whatever it was, no double take. I remember working on that for a while. So even if I saw something, I didn't look back. And then I remember this one time I was in the van, like I was saying, with a bunch of guys, and everybody, and we're looking out the same window, and everybody commented on some like girl or something that was walking by, like, whoa, yo, check it out, this, like everybody commented, and I literally did not see anybody. I did not see it. I didn't see anything. And I was like, first I was like confused. I'm like, what are you guys talking about? I have no idea what you guys are talking about. And then I felt like a real, like, wow, proud of myself. Like, good for you. You worked in it and you literally didn't see it. And based on a story of this older chassid, basically in the beginning when the Rebbe came out with Mitzvah Tefillin, and he went to Manhattan or wherever he was, and he was basically putting in Tefillin, standing in the streets, are you Jewish, are you Jewish? And this guy comes over to him, he's like, are you crazy? Like, you yeshiva's a guy, Litvish a guy. And he's like, what are you, crazy? You're standing right here in front of this billboard and putting Tefillin on people? And the guy looked, and he's like, oh, I didn't realize. He's like, I punched, didn't realize. A massive thing is some naked woman. Huge billboard. And he like, I didn't see it. Like, I did not realize it. Which I was like, wow, what a level. And then I was able to experience it myself. So it definitely exists. But I still don't want to attribute it to just boredom. Um, or even more than that, even to just, lack of direction or passion in something good. but the way to deal with it definitely is that. Okay, I know I spoke for long enough. So Yoni, if you want to say something, go ahead.
Yeah. So water. I'm gonna go with that. Stagnant water breeds death, right? That's one. Second is Almei Menuchas Yina Aleni, Perak Chav Gimel, right? On still waters, Yina Aleni is 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 a type of saving, but not exactly saving. Sorry, let me just see if I could find. Let's see if this one has a translation for it. Almei Menuchas Yina Aleni. Shucks, I forgot exactly what Aleni means. But it's basically God helping out in that sense, in one of those things, either helping or saving or something like that. And what are still waters? Still waters are very deep waters, like the saying goes. Still waters run deep. There's that saying. So there's why am I going to this? Because yeah, I mean boredom might not be the only thing. I mean, sure, boredom is just sitting by the pond. But remember, you're by a pond. If there's no give and take from there, if the pond's made with concrete around it, you know, or you're sitting by the pool. Are you sitting by a pool or by a river? You know, some rivers run deep and they look, both of them on the surface look exactly the same. Look exactly the same. No water moving, stillest thing ever. But one, if not treated with chemicals and stuff, will literally bring death. And the other, no one's ever putting chemicals in there. And if they are, then they are bringing death. But the other one, there's life even flourishing in there. But they look, on the surface, they look exactly the same. So boredom, now I'm not saying that the person sitting on the side is bored. They're both fishing, but one is bored fishing and the other one is actually fishing. Let's say that, right? One has what to catch and one is definitely not catching anything. So the question is, where's your boredom? Is your boredom? I'm developing this idea as I'm talking, so it might be lost. Where's your boredom? Is your boredom near a pool? Where, okay, so let's say a person's bored. I'm bored, but I'm gonna go and do this. Not, and I'm still gonna be bored while I'm doing it, but I need to do something. Right? There are people that are able to do that. Meanwhile, there's another one that's I'm bored and I'm not gonna be doing anything. I'm just gonna be twiddling my fingers or other sayings that there are for that. Um, yeah. In addition, the no double take I heard from Levi quoting Zalmi, um, as though attributing this idea to Zalmi. So I'm not sure. Maybe he took it more to himself than everyone else, or this stemmed from a conversation that he mentioned it, and then everyone else took it as a. I don't know exactly. You might be able to clarify that for me. Also, in addition to quoting sources, what I find very refreshing is the fact that when a person does, here's the thing. I realize when quoting a source, not only do you sound intelligent, but you feel a little bit better with this with quoting, because I mean some people don't because they want it to make it seem like they came up with the genius. But I don't know. I think that being able to quote someone makes it like I know where I'm getting this from. And that makes it feel a whole lot better than just saying, oh, it's yeah, this is an idea. Throw out a bone, here's the idea. It's not just doing that. I definitely have other things to say. Again, not coming to mind at the moment, so I'll pass.
There was this, you just made me think of this. Last night, first of all, I should tell you about it, but basically we do a FiveAlive style, but it's a little bit more serious, a little bit more inside, a little bit more guys want to actually learn. every Monday night. Hold on, just turn off this mess. Basically, we learned the latest sichas that the Rebbe gave us to date. We call them an Aleph and an Beis. The last 2 years, right? Touching an Aleph and touching an Beis. Where basically the Rebbe speaks so much about Mashiach, it's really amazing. And we learn that every Monday night. If you are interested in trying to check it out and see if that's your speed, definitely let me know. I can add you to that. But it's mainly the focus is Nenegol Mashiach and making Mashiach real to us. But basically last night, Yasko was on there. He joined for a couple of minutes, and he joined with Avi Piamenta, which was really pleasant to see. Avi Piamenta basically quoted and said a really amazing point. He said, the Rebbe explains that when the Alter Rebbe went up and spoke to when the Baal Shem Tov went up and spoke to Mashiach, and he said, Eimosai Kosimar. He responded, and so Avi was saying that the Rebbe explains not only you have to spread the water from the well springs, you have to spread it to the outside, like the chutzah, she'ein chutzah mena, like the most external place and thing that you could think of, to really get it out there. But he says the words are kishir futzo ma'inasecha chutzah. It means the actual mayan has to be spread out to the outside. So why am I saying this? Because together with the point of being able to quote and to know where you're from, to be confident in it, and know your sources basically. There's also that point of you being a Mayan as well. It means you also need to be a source of information. You don't sometimes like Rabbi Zami Raksin finally is reaching that point that you're like, wow, where's that from? He says, what do you mean where's it from? It's from him. The Ami says it. He's amazing. He comes up with his own things. Yeah, of course, everything's based in somewhere, and you base it on Torah. Anything right and real is going to be based in Torah. But the point is that it's also a source. You are also a source. That's the line that I want to say. That's the point that I want to make. You are also a source, and I need to realize that about myself as well. And you can quote me on that. I am also a source. Okay, I'm going to have to go. Pulling up the Jets, approximately 20 minutes late. No, half hour late. Shachas. And I'll speak to you later.
One thing that you mentioned though is obviously that I am a source, and obviously everything's rooted in Torah. But interesting thing, original thought, you grasp God by getting an original thought that God already said something, and you get the pleasure, and God gets the pleasure that you're grasping God through your own thought. In addition to that, is in order to have an original thought, you have to have something to think about first. And in order to have something to think about first, you also would be important to have a source. So yeah, of course, I'm going to come up with my own ideas. I mean, a few weeks ago, I gave a Dvar Torah that I just thought of myself. Like it's not that big a deal. But to quote a source is attributing what it's plagiarism otherwise. Literally, like that's what it is. If you don't say what you're getting it
It
from, then
also
it's
says he
plagiarism
who
without.
quotes. Right. It also says that he who quotes where he got it from brings geula to the world.
Okay, that
100%. Maybe geula la'olam. Call. I don't remember the exact words. Kol misha imer v'shem imrei. I gotta go. So Mashiach now. We can work next time.
of course. Ciao.